Hi, we're the Boomershines, and we just completed the Great American Loop. And these are 11 odd things you should know before you start your loop. Okay, these are in no particular order.
I love that you went 11 and not 10, just to,
Well, I mean, I could have done 27 or 25, but these are just the ones that came to the top of my brain and that I've been thinking about and that people need to know. So number one is something that a viewer told us when we started the loop, is that every sound is sacred. This one is really important. So you need to listen to every sound on your boat and pay attention to what it is and figure out what it is.
Well, if you've owned your boat for a long time, you're going to know every noise. But if you're like us and you got on a boat, you had to first learn the sounds.
Yes.
And then you had to learn.
Like, is that a bilge pump that just turned on? Why did that bilge pump turn on?
Yeah.
Is
And
that
then-
a line that's creaking? Why is that line?
And then you
doing
learn
that?
the rhythms of the boat. Like it's 2 a.m. and you hear a pump and you're like, oh, that's the bilge pump that usually comes on around 9.
Or you
2
hear
a.m.,
something that you don't normally hear, so pay attention. Oh, there's a little person. Okay, which brings us to number 2, and this one is very specific to the loop, I will say, and a lot of people have been caught off guard on this one. This is like probably the most important nugget of all of these nuggets.
What is it? I'm on the edge of my...
Is that there are little critters called pistol shrimp, and pistol shrimp will make it seem like you are sleeping in a bowl of Rice Krispies.
It's actually the loudest noise on
ocean?
Earth, right?
It's something.
I think in the ocean, possibly the Earth, and they're atomizing, they're vaporizing the water. They create so much heat when they're little.
Anyway, it's a very unsettling and unusual sound when it first happens.
What's that noise?
Barnacles.
Can you hear that?
Thousands of little creatures trying to suck on the side of the boat.
Seriously? That's creepy.
No one told us about it, and we have friends who no one told us about. So anyway, it's shrimp. So if you feel like you're like living in Rice Krispies, what does it sound like to you, Rex?
Pistol shrimp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
description.
first thought it was barnacles.
Yeah, anyway, pistol shrimp. That's number 2. Number 3, okay? This one's also good to know and have in your back pocket, is that looping is hard, okay? I wanted to quit 10 days in. I called a good friend of mine. She said, I put the for sale sign on the boat, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So looping is hard, and everybody has an adjustment period, and it gets easier. Anything you want to add to that?
Nope.
Okay.
Looping is hard. Yachting is easy.
Yes.
When we
Yeah.
say yachting, crew,
Yeah, yachting seems
engineer,
delightful.
chef. We saw a lot of yachting going on. And we were
Okay.
like, look at them.
Yes, that brings us to little point number 4, which will make looping easier, is to make sure you join the AGLCA,
American Great Loop Cruisers
Cruisers
Association.
Fly your burgee, which is the flag on the front of your boat, which helps identify other loopers. Make friends with other loopers, because that will change your loop dramatically. And finally, along those lines, stay at loop marinas. There are certain marinas that all the loopers stay at.
Loop sponsored.
Well, not sponsored, but just where all the other loopers are. When we started our loop, we were staying at yacht clubs because that was fabulous and fun. But it didn't help us meet other loopers. And once we met other loopers and got buddy boats, looping got so much easier. So,
Because the other loopers may say, hey, did you know that Lock 27 is closed until Tuesday?
or let's look at this route,
whatever.
or have you
Yeah.
seen what's going on with the weather, or any of that? Okay.
You
so-
get a loop scoop?
Yeah, so that's point number 4. Point number 5, things will break. Guaranteed something will break on your boat. It doesn't matter if your boat is brand new or old or somewhere in between, something will break.
It's going to break.
Just accept that fact. And then we adopted a phrase that we call assess, adapt, and overcome, which helped us anytime something would break. So we would assess the situation, we would adapt, and we would overcome. So this is going to be the take on, take off your glasses. So that's number 5. Number 6 is along the same lines of things will break. Number 6 is you will break too. You will get injured.
Mm-hmm.
You will get bruised. So,
Boat bites, bumps, bruises, acute problems with your body. Like,
it's gonna happen, so just
Yeah.
brace yourself. So have a really good first aid kit. We have an Amazon store that I put all of our things that you need for the loop, and in the must-haves, don't leave the dock without, are ice packs. One of the first things I purchased when we moved onto a boat was a bunch of ice packs because we were all constantly needing ice packs. So just know you're gonna get bumped and bruised along the way. You'll survive that too. You might also gain weight and be less healthy. I'd say 90% of people gain weight and are less healthy. It's hard to eat healthy on the loop. I had grand plans of being organic and baking everything. You can't find organic stuff in a lot of the loop. So
and there's a lot of, if you drink alcohol, there's a lot of alcohol on the loop because it's a celebration every time.
we didn't die.
Don't die when you come to a marina, and other loopers are there, and yeah, so it's a very social
Yeah, it's great.
activity.
But yeah, not so great for your liver probably. So number 7 is lemon juice removes mustaches
Not
on your
this
boat.
time.
I wish it would take that mustache off. But your boat's gonna get what's called it's gonna get a brown stain on the bow from the tannins in the water. And it is called
Freshwater, the rivers and brackish waters.
in the
of
ICW we got
low
one.
country.
And it looks like this brown mustache on the front of your boat. All you have to do is spray lemon juice on it. Don't worry with the fancy cleaners. Just get a spray bottle with some lemon juice and away you go.
Yep.
So that is another key thing. That's number 7. Number 8, Bob's Tracks. Tell us about Bob's Tracks, Mark.
There are multiple names for it. I think it's Bob's Tracks, Bob's
Bob's
423,
Deep
Bob's Deep Tracks. Anyway,
Bob is our hero.
we should probably look up the website officially, but
Put it down below.
you
With
go
the
to his
Amazon
website. So Bob goes in his sailboat, I think twice a year. It goes up the ICW, the entire ICW. I don't know how he does it, but he tracks the deepest route, and he makes a blue dotted line on the ICW for the deepest route. In some places, you can wander off the blue line because it's deep, but when you get into some cuts, like near Matanzas Pass or Fort Matanzas in Florida, and you
Inlet, yeah.
have literally inches on either side of you, you've got to stay on Bob's Tracks or you will run aground. We never ran aground because we followed Bob's Tracks.
We never had to replace a prop.
Yep, we made the whole loop, 7,000
On our
miles
original
on our original
props.
2 props.
And I would like to hug Bob because Bob got us through all the skinny spots, and that is a necessity. We did not use it at first because we're like, we've got all the fancy equipment. No, just go ahead and
So you go to his
Download Bob.
website, you get the route that you want. So he'll have like Titusville to Brunswick, Georgia. You get the section that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You copy it, you download it, and then you want to tell it whether you're putting it in Navionics, Aquamaps, whatever you're used to. Aquamaps worked better for us, and then it's just literally right there, and it's like a video game.
easy peasy.
Yeah, and then
Lemon squeezy.
once we got out of the ICW at Norfolk,
We were
where
like,
he
"Yay,
stops,
we miss Bob."
we missed the blue line, and we felt so lost.
And naked.
But he doesn't charge for it. It's open source. It's
Amazing.
free.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes.
If I ever get the chance to meet you, I would love to give you a hug or shake your hand or just
Yeah.
cheer for you. Anyway, so that was number 8. Number 9 on our list, I'm going to call loop manners. And I just think it's important to remind everyone that when you have your loop burgee on the front of your boat, you're representing loopers. And when you go to marinas, you're a guest in somebody else's home. So if you wouldn't walk into someone else's living room and tell them to turn down the music, don't go to somebody else's marina and tell them how to do their stuff when you're only there for a night.
specific example. We were in Canada, Aurelia, Canada. There was a looper that was yelling at the
Locals.
locals who keep their boat there year round to, hey, turn down your music.
It was a Saturday afternoon. The music was not, in my mind, terribly loud at all. It's great music.
Yeah, that's not your
their
place as a
home.
looper to come into their world and say, hey, you need to act this way. So,
Anyway, it caused all sorts of drama and made all of the loopers look bad. So obviously there's a time and a place where you should do that, but at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer Saturday, let people have fun. Just kind of, enjoy
You're just passing through.
Enjoy being a guest in other people's homes. And there was another issue that we dealt with on the rivers. A boat before us had gotten in a verbal argument on the
On the barges.
and the place shut down, and they don't take loopers anymore. So just reminding everyone that just move on the next day if you're having an issue, and be grateful for all of these marinas and all of these places that let our little posse come through. So that's number 9, loop manners. I got lots of examples of them, but just be kind. Okay, number 10. What is number 10?
When it comes to fenders,
Oh, more is better.
size matters.
I said more is better. He said size matters. You cannot have.
You had me searching all over Canada for larger fenders as we were going through all of the locks.
Big balls. So we did not start the loop with enough fenders. I just thought the boat would have it like what we needed. It did not. That was poor planning on our part. We basically had like ski boat size fenders when we needed like big fenders. And fenders are tricky to find. Big fenders are tricky to find on the loop. So I would encourage you to fender up before you leave your home port. And I have all sorts of thoughts on fenders, but you can't have too many fenders. You need multiple sizes, different
I have a
shapes.
thought too.
What's your thought?
The bigger boats, and I think these are super cool, have inflatable fenders that are quick inflate. They're bigger and they're inflatable. So
be nice.
they fit the bill that you can. They're big when you need them, and they disappear and fold down.
I should do a whole video, Fender 101. I'll do
But
that.
they ain't cheap. The big
No.
folder. But if
None
you,
of them are cheap.
but you'll sell them with the boat, or if you own your boat, you can always use fenders. We
Yeah.
were in a windstorm in
Canada. We
Ontario.
put every single fender out, and it saved us.
Yeah, we had every fender and 14 lines on the
mean-
boat. So
We looked all sorts of janky, but we survived. Okay, so that is number 10. And finally,
number 11.
11 of odd things you need to know before you do the loop. Pack warm clothes. Pack way more warm clothes than you think you need, way less bathing suits than you want to have, because for the majority of the loop, you're layering up. Like he didn't bring a winter coat. Rex didn't bring a winter coat, and we had to go get them on the loop.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, whatever they look like, but men's Uggs were fantastic
Forgot about
to
that.
just slip on to go up to the flybreak. They're basically like boat shoes because you can just slip on. You don't need to throw on socks.
And
They're
they were
super
warm.
warm because they're fur lined. You look ridiculous in them, but you know what? When you're on the rivers and it's freezing cold, you're not going
Which
for a
is
fashion contest. You're just staying warm.
And I have it's a zip-up onesie polar fleece. It looks like
Ooh.
a jumpsuit, like a flight
Yep.
suit. Oh, that would look so good with your mustache.
Well, put
You
a
have
link
one.
to a tuxie. That was incredible.
Oh,
Tuxies
I
is
forgot
extremely
about your
well made onesie.
So he had like a really cool one. This
Yeah.
is by Tuxie. I had one that I got on Amazon. I'll put it in our Amazon store. But what was great about it is I could slip it over my regular gear when I was running out to do handle lines for a lock or going in and out, because it was darn cold.
3 a.m. you were sick as a dog, and there was a storm that came up, and you were in your green flight suit onesie,
Oh, God, dealing with everything.
dealing with
Yeah.
COVID.
Oh, I had COVID, and we were in that just a horrible storm. That was our scariest night on the loop. But the onesie layers on top of everything. It's super easy to take on and off. Highly recommend. So, and just any warm clothes, gloves, hats, warm shoes, and layers of warmth because it is cold. And a lot of people get caught off guard and don't have enough warm stuff.
Yeah, so a
Including
onesie with the Uggs.
It's not real stylish, but it works. Okay, so those are our 11 tips and tricks that no one told us that we are now telling you about doing the loop. If you have any additions, please add them in the comments below. And if you wouldn't mind picking up 2 pieces of trash every day, that would be awesome. We would really much appreciate it.
Let's do a cross. Put your hand. Ready?
Anything
1,
else?
2, 3.
Shine on.